Oh, oh, hello there. Would you like to know what the top 3 altcoins for 2020 are? Are you tired of looking at YouTube videos of people who don't even trade or are far too degenerate for your tastes? Well, you've come to the right place. Let's make some money. So, top 3 altcoins for 2020. I figure every single crypto YouTuber has this video, so I need to have my own video on this subject. Mainly because it gets the views. And also because, well, maybe I actually want to be helpful. That's really secondary. I just want the views. Give me that Skrilla. So, I made a video. I made a little presentation here. The top 3 altcoins for 2020. This is this is the kind of video that I think, in retrospect, oftentimes what people will do on other YouTube channels is they'll make a video like this, and many of those coins are just going to be the flavor of the week or flavor of the month coin or whatever's most hyped so that they can get a lot of views. I am interested in the views, don't get me wrong. However, I wanted to do a video that I could look back on in 2, 3, 5 years and not actually want to take a shower or something. So, top 3 altcoins for 2020. This is going to be pretty basic, but I'm going to give you guys the altcoins that I am holding, the altcoins that I am interested in holding. And as we know, 99% of altcoins have gone down in value, save a few of these that I'm going to discuss here. So with that out of the way, let's get started. So the first coin that you guys must hold, that is one of my favorite top coins, is in fact Ethereum. If you're an ETH hater, if you're an ETH minimalist, please go to some other channel, because this channel is all about Ethereum. I think Ethereum is the best thing since Bitcoin. So why Ethereum? So Ethereum obviously is the market leader in smart contract technology. This is the infrastructure. This is the protocol that has hundreds of thousands of different games, services, dApps, whatever you want to call them, right on top of the network. They have if you look at the chart of the actual gas use for Ethereum, they're reaching all-time highs as of this video again, which means that everything is getting pretty slow again on the blockchain. But it also means that there's a lot of usability, a lot of people that are using Ethereum. So despite Ethereum really having less of a narrative, it used to be, well, everyone's going to buy Ethereum for ICOs. It's actually maintaining those all-time highs and even going beyond that in terms of gas. So there's a lot of usage now. So whereas in 2017 and 2018, there was a large amount of speculation, there is much less speculation, at least to the positive side, and a lot more actual use when you look at the gas transactions. You know, you can speculate all day if you want, but the usage is the usage and the transactions are the transactions. And if people are actually using them, then there you go. It's proof in the pudding. So a few reasons why I think Ethereum is going to be one of the best holds moving forward. So Ethereum 2.0 will vastly improve TX speeds and lower costs. So Ethereum, to be fair, Ethereum, they have been talking about moving to this proof of stake model for, I think, as far back as 2016. So 3 years later, almost 4 years later now in 2020, it's looking like one of those things that is never going to happen. And it almost works for us as investors in that way, because it means that there's a lot less hype around this thing that we know is going to happen. It is definitely going to happen, obviously. ETH 2.0 is going to come out. We're just not entirely sure on exactly the timing of it, but we're long-term investors. We're not so interested in it. And I think it's probably going to happen in 2020. I think this is really going to be the year where ETH 2.0 comes out. Just if you look at the actual amount of development that's happening on the coin, if you look at the infrastructure that's being built, it's looking like we're getting closer and closer to a real actual ETH 2.0 build that is going to go live on the mainnet. And so I think 2020 is going to be the year. So I think that most other people don't, or they're too short-sighted, or they're just looking at the price right now. And so it's something that's not in their heads, not in their minds. So it remains the top platform for building smart contracts. And I think this is something that will continue well into the future. If you want to learn blockchain, you're probably learning Ethereum. If you want to code a game or something, you're probably doing it on Ethereum. It's one of the cheaper platforms to do it on. It's permissionless, so you can just code up whatever you want, versus something like Neo, where you need to make sure that the block validators like you. So there you go. Ethereum is much more decentralized in that aspect. So I think it's going to be one of the platforms that is going to continue being the place to be where you want to build things. And especially once we get that ETH 2.0 update, again, the proof is in the pudding. We have all of these transactions nowadays. What does that tell you? That tells you that there's actual genuine use now, not just speculation. If we get ETH 2.0, we're going to have all these extra features, as well as all of this extra room for growth that is really going to allow Ethereum to actually properly scale on the base blockchain level itself, where we won't need these other kind of auxiliary blockchains that add the speed aspect to it, like Raiden, for example, off-chain. We'll be able to do a lot more on-chain with the speed and TX capabilities that we're going to get with ETH 2.0. So I think that's going to be another reason why people are going to use it for smart contracts. It has all the developer mindshare, so all the devs want to be on Ethereum, they want to be building on this thing, and it makes sense. So the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance gives it the proper connections it needs to succeed. Obviously, you cannot just have a piece of tech. You can have the greatest piece of tech in the world, but if no one knows about it or no one uses it, then what good is it for? So the EEA, if you don't know, the Ethereum Enterprise Alliance, Google it. It's pretty damn powerful. It's something like, I don't even know, is it 50 or 150? Some insane number of companies that are dedicated to working on Ethereum, using Ethereum, or otherwise interacting with the ecosystem. So EEA is definitely giving Ethereum the leg up over all of the other tech projects, which are just tech projects, versus Ethereum, which actually has a business plan and a business mindset moving forward. So another reason why I think Ethereum is a great buy, especially for next year, is that the depressed prices in 2018 and 2019 have led to cheap Ethereum tokens. So we've had the futures that were released on BitMEX. We had those hit pieces by Arthur that were released on BitMEX. We've had everyone who was shorting in 2018, everyone who was shorting in 2019. We've had the loss of the narrative for Ethereum. That means that the whole ICO narrative, we've lost all of the speculation, all of the hype. Practically, there's really no one that I know who is really a trader or even a holder, because many holders have honestly been shaken out. If you can imagine it from what happened last year, Ethereum going up to, I think, how much was it, $1,400 a token, all the way down to something like $80 or so at the very low. And even if you're a long-term holder, that's just something that's untenable. You can't accept that kind of loss. And so there's not many people right now that are talking about Ethereum. And so that makes it one of the least hyped projects, that has the most amount of work done on it, that has the most developer mindshare, that has the most potential to truly succeed. And here's the question I pose to you if you are someone who is on the fence about Ethereum. Let's say Ethereum fails. So you are basically, if you're in crypto at all, let's say you're a crypto bull, because if you're a crypto bear, you're probably not watching this video. So you're a crypto bull. You think you're very positive on crypto in the long term. How can you be positive on crypto in the long term and simultaneously be bearish on Ethereum in the long term? Ethereum is the platform, as I mentioned before, that everyone is going to be using for all of these smart contracts and everything else. So in my mind, if Ethereum fails, crypto itself is not going to fail, but it's going to be set back so hard. So really, I think a big reason why Bitcoin itself went to 20 grand in 2017 was because in large part due to the help of Ethereum, due to its assistance, due to all of the things that it did for the space. And so I think there's a lot of people who have this cognitive dissonance in their mind, this concept that Ethereum is worthless, Ethereum's not going to do anything, the narrative is gone, blah, 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 it's never going to scale, we're never going to get ETH 2.0. All of these different things and all these factors lead to people selling them. So what is the Warren Buffett quote? We always like to buy good businesses at fair prices. That's what it is. Or good businesses when it's having a bad time. So Ethereum right now is having one of those bad times in terms of price, which means there's an opportunity for us as longer-term investors to move in and grab and scoop up those ETH tokens. And finally, the proof of stake updates are going to constrain supply. So first, because there's going to be no more mining, and secondly, because all of the tokens that you'll need to stake are going to reduce the supply even further. So that means that I don't really know what the numbers are on this, how much of the total supply is going to get staked. Maybe it's 10%, maybe it's 50%, maybe it's 80%, maybe it's 1%. Who knows? It's only something that we can see once it actually goes live. However, it does mean that there's going to be some percentage, some amount of Ethereum that's going to be staked. We don't know how much that is, but we do know that that is going to constrain the supply, as well as less tokens being able to be mined. Or is it no tokens? I'm actually not sure on that one. I think it's going to be entirely proof of stake, actually. They're going to get rid of the proof of work entirely. And so that means that it's just going to constrain the supply even more, which is awesome. So Ethereum, again, long term, we're super, super bullish on it. There's going to be less tokens coming out, less tokens that are going to be in circulation, and we're going to have a hell of a lot more interest in buying and holding this asset. So that's the first coin that I'm personally going to be holding. It's my recommendation to most people who are just getting into crypto, or they don't really want to know too much about it, or they just, hey, what token do I buy? I just tell them, hey, look, hold your Bitcoin. And then aside from that, here's some really strong projects that you might want to look into. Ethereum is one of them. So coin number 2, Binance Coin. You guys knew I had to put this one in. Binance Coin, the top exchange coin. Next to, nope, I think it's the top exchange coin. I know Huobi token is catching up, and I know Leo is doing quite well for itself, but Binance Coin is still top dog in terms of market cap. So why Binance Coin? So it's a leading exchange with hundreds of altcoins, which is a trend that is poised to continue. Obviously, when I watched the huge run up that we had, and then all of 2018 that happened after that, the run down, Binance was really one of the few exchanges that was continually executing in terms of adding new coins all the time. There was a period before that when Bittrex was doing that, where every other day or every week they were releasing 1 or 2 tokens, and that was a great release cadence of listing tokens, and that was awesome. But then for whatever legal reasons, Bittrex, because they're based in the United States, they had to stop all of that, and they had to fix themselves. They had to right their house. They put it in order. And so that means that it left this huge market opportunity. And so Binance took that idea, or maybe they just decided to do it themselves, and they just started executing to where every week you could expect a new coin released on Binance. And now we're at the point where there really are just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of markets on Binance. If you are trying to trade a coin, it's probably on Binance, especially if it's a legitimate coin. It's probably on Binance. They do free listings now, or semi-free, quasi-free, but I think this is definitely, Binance is one of those exchanges that is going to pay attention to its customers, that has been doing so in the past. And so if people want altcoins, they're going to give you altcoins. It is the number 1 altcoin exchange for a reason. Now, why does that help Binance Coin? So obviously the company helps, the company burns BNB with its profits. So the more people that use it, etc. So really we have to look at Binance as a company, yes, but also the company is almost directly or first order, second order related to the Binance coin and its price performance. And we know if you guys are on Twitter at all and you follow CZ, I mean, he's constantly talking about Binance coin. We're adding new services, so on and so forth. So second reason, regulatory concerns are less of an issue now with Binance US. I know a lot of people that were worried about Binance having issues with the SEC, issues with other world governments and other fintech or financial entities, that they were going to have issues with it. I see less of a problem now. I think the biggest region that is going to cause problems is first China, which we'll talk about. Actually, no, I don't have a China. Okay, so I'll tell you guys about the China thing. So Binance used to have their headquarters in China, but then they moved. So they moved to Malta. So the China regulation is less of a concern. And then the other region is the United States. Well, now we have Binance US. So Binance, the United States, is really only interested now in Binance US, which is the one that's fully compliant and all of that. And if you're a US citizen, you're going on Binance US. That's the one you want to use. So I think there's much, much less regulatory concern from where I'm standing, from where I see the way that Binance is moving forward. So I think much less concern than most people have, which means that because people have all of these worries about the concerns, they're more likely to sell, which is going to cause a little bit of a dip in the price, which means, again, opportunities for us as investors to buy these beleaguered bags. The team speed of executions mean they will outwork every single competitor, and this has been true for all of last year. It's been true for 2017 while they were a player, even when they were young, and that's continuing to be true in 2019. They're doing all of these different things. They're doing charity drives, they're doing services, they're supporting BNB, they're doing all of these crazy burns. They're doing all of these different things, which is really just making them maintain their spot in the market leader, or maintain their spot as market leaders. So I think it's a great thing, and it's one of those super bullish things that I think is just mega bullish for the coin itself. So recent insider FUD has led to BNB dropping in price, and I say that's an opportunity. Again, back to that Warren Buffett style of investing. There is a lot of FUD around FUD, around Binance Coin right now, around BNB, whether it is regulatory concerns or whether it is maybe the recent hack, right, happened and people are worried about that, or people are scared about crypto in general, and so they're moving away from Binance, or Binance US being a thing and locking out all of the US customers. So there's a lot of FUD going around right now around Binance Coin. And I am of the mind that things generally, as they move towards the future, are going to stay the same. So I'm not one of those doomsayers. I'm not one of those people who is always looking for a reason that things are going to change. Things usually don't change. If things changed all the time, as people thought, we would live in absolute chaos. So I'm much more of the opinion and in the camp that things are going to stay the same. Binance is going to be the market leader. And when we get all of these people who are mainstreamers, or mainstream individuals who come to start trading altcoins, who come because of this next bull run, Binance is going to be the place that they go to. So this is going to increase liquidity, increase volumes. With increased volumes, it means increased fees. Binance takes those fees and they burn the token, constraining supply. All of these great things. So it's awesome. And then again, that ties into the last bullet point I have here. It's a true blue chip crypto. It is, in fact, in my opinion, a blue chip crypto. If only Coinbase had a token, I think Binance Coin is the next best thing. I really do truly believe in BNB. I love seeing CZ do the way he executes is just extremely quick. It's fast. His team is world class. The way that they respond to things, the way that they handle issues, the way that they deal with customers, the way that they provide services like OTC services, block ordering, all of these different things, new order types, really listening to the customers, interacting with people on social media. They do so many things. They really do. There's no area where you look at Binance and you're like, oh, well, they could do better in this area. It's like, no, they're the market leaders in every single possible metric, every single one. And so when people start getting worried about Binance and BNB and this FUD starts coming out, again, it represents a buying opportunity. We know historically that the team at Binance can commit and they can perform and they can execute. So when there's all of this FUD coming out, I want to buy. So Binance Coin for me is the second coin that I think is going to do extremely well, even as we close out 2019 and moving into next year in 2020. And finally, we have to talk about the third coin that I am personally quite bullish on. Guys, you know which coin it is. It's Ripple. No, it's not Ripple. It's Chainlink, guys. It's Chainlink. So, I'm going to go through these quickly. So Chainlink, they've had a massive number of partnerships that grows by the day, including Google. Right there, it says everything by itself. They have trusted execution environments that lead to secure smart contracts. So I didn't get the chance to talk about this in my Chainlink analysis video because this was actually new that happened very recently after I released my video. So TEEEs, as they call them, are environments where you can execute your commands or execute your smart contracts. So the way that they do it now is they use Intel SGX, which has exploits, to be completely honest. So I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that Intel SGX is perfect and you'll always get secure smart contracts, but it's a hell of a lot more secure than even something like Ethereum. So Chainlink smart contracts, TEEs, is definitely a step. It's a right step in the right direction, which is going to secure smart contracts. So this is one of those things that Ethereum lacks that Chainlink can do now all of a sudden, which is great. So it means a lot more, just one extra feature for Chainlink. Mixicals allow for privacy. This is another big update that they released recently. And this is super important for finance companies. So let's say you are on blockchain and you want to put in an order for 500,000 shares of whatever STO you want to buy or whatever security. Because of the way the blockchain works, it's transparent. People can see it on a block explorer. They can see what you're trying to do. They can see your orders. They can front run you. They can do whatever. They can pay more gas perhaps and get an order in before you. With Mixicals, all of that is less of a deal, less of a big problem. And so all of these finance companies can now start moving in. They can start doing their work in a secure, safe manner. So Mixicals is going to be one of those things that, in my opinion, is going to be bullish for 2020, because this is when the actual use is going to be starting to come in for Chainlink. And then the last point here, the adoption hasn't truly started yet, so buyers are still getting in early, and this is true. So if we look at the market today, how many individuals are actually using Chainlink? 0. How many companies are using Chainlink? 0. We do have partnerships, but there's no companies actually using it. Find me a smart contract today that actually uses Chainlink of a dApp that is well used. You're not going to find one. Why? Because Chainlink is so early for Chainlink that, yes, they have all of these partnerships. Yes, they have all of the technology, but they have yet to really start building out their ecosystem. They have yet to truly start implementing Chainlink. They're still on the developing side of it. They're still on the coding side of it. They have yet to move to the market adoption side. So we're right in that middle point. So we get the advantage of knowing that they can develop and knowing that they can execute, while also having the advantage of being able to front run all of the people who are going to buy in after Chainlink actually has all of this use. So that means that it represents another buying opportunity for us. If you want to get in on Chainlink, now is the time, especially after all of the negative price action Chainlink has had. So you're seeing a common thread here when I talk about these altcoins, whether it's Ethereum, Binance Coin, or Chainlink. These are all coins that have been doing that have done well this year. Well, save for Ethereum, which has just been a death spiral, but are doing poorly now, let's say, in terms of price. So Binance Coin was something around $35 even, I think, an all-time high, or 33, and now it's at 15. Chainlink was around $4 or $5. Now it's at $1.60. And Ethereum, I don't remember what their price was earlier this year, maybe like $500 or something, and now they're at 200, even lower than that, 160 last time I checked. So the point is you want to buy these coins. You want to abstract yourself away from the emotions of the market. You have to understand that Ethereum fundamentally is stronger now than it's ever been, that Chainlink is stronger now than it's ever been, that BNB, Binance Coin, is stronger now than it's ever been, and these are the buying opportunities that we have. I am only interested in coins, in tokens that actually have real value attached to them, applied to them, that have real use, that have a technical offering that is actually interesting to me and is interesting to the market as well. And honestly, out of the 1,000 or so cryptos we have, these are, not only are these the 3 top altcoins, in my opinion, to be purchasing and holding, these are the 3 only altcoins to be purchasing and holding. There are some other ones like Quant, for example, and I'll do a Quant video later. I know some people are asking me about this, but they are not, in my mind, sure bets like these 3. That's why a lot of other channels, they will have the 5 coins you need to buy or the 10 coins you need to buy that are going to do well next year. This video is the 3 coins you need to buy, because I don't like telling people or giving recommendations of things that I am not 100% sure of, that I myself would not put money in. So I myself have money in all 3 of these coins. I believe in all 3 of them. And not only do I believe in them, objectively, they are performing, they're executing, they're committing. And so these are the things that you need to keep in mind yourself when you look at any coin, not just these 3. If you're looking at, I don't know, Litecoin, for example, why do you want to invest in it? Why do you see the market opportunity? Do you see something that other people perhaps don't, like I see with these 3 coins? Do you see some kind of opportunity for you where you are going to either be able to front run, or you see some kind of development that's going to happen, or you see the future market adoption increasing? These are the things that is truly going to bring crypto to the next level. These are the things that are really important to an altcoin success. And these are the teams that, in my mind, are doing it. So that is it. Yeah, that's basically it. Those are the 3 altcoins. I am going to be holding all of them pretty much most of 2020. As a long-term investor, I'm someone who's very interested in even beyond 2020. We're looking further ahead. Unless prices really do get insanely high, I'm much more comfortable just buying and holding and waiting and seeing what we can do in the long term. I do trade coins here and there, but I'm a much more longer-term investor, I think, than most. And so these are the coins that are the top picks for me that I am personally going to be buying. So what did you guys think? Is there a coin that I have missed, perhaps? Bitcoin, obviously. Well, That one doesn't really count. These are altcoins. But if there's a video or a coin that I missed, let me know. Like the video if you want to see more. Subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys next time. This video was sponsored by Cryptowatch. Are you a crypto degen? Do you spend countless hours in front of your PC babysitting your leverage trades? Well, babysit no longer. With Cryptowatch, you can spend countless hours in the comforts of your own bed, waiting for those SMS alerts. Track how wrecked your portfolio is that week with their portfolio tracker. And you can also check the price of your favorite shitcoins. If you'd like to join Cryptowatch, there's a link in the description below. Happy trading!